So what is the most important note in all of music? What's the one note that we couldn't live without? What's the note with the most notorious reputation? You're probably yelling at your screen right now. The root note is the most important note, right? Because without the root note, we have nothing. Without the foundation of what the key center is, we can't base anything on anything. There needs to be a beginning, and the root note is in fact the most important note. But I'm not going to sit here and do a video on the root note because other than it being the foundation, there's not really much to say. So what's the second most important note in music? I would argue, based on all styles of music considered and all intervals considered, that the tritone is the most important note in all of music. The tritone is so important, it goes by several names. If you're going from the 4th degree of the scale to the 5th, we could consider this note a augmented 4th. If we're going from the 5th degree of the scale down to the 4th, this could be considered a diminished 5th. And of course, we know it as the tritone. We also know it as the devil's interval. This interval is most unsettling. It actually splits the musical octave in half. So if you have from C to C, and you play a C to G, that is a perfect 5th. The perfect 5th makes up what's known as the power chord. It's also the 5th of the major and minor triads. So it's a very consonant interval. However, if you drop that 5th down and diminish it by a half step, you get the tritone. And it is the most unstable, but yet oddly pleasing interval in all of music. And based on its function and use, as we'll see as we go further in this video, I think you'll agree that it is the most important interval, most important note in all of music. In functional harmony, the tritone's biggest application would be its use within the dominant 7th chord. So let's break this down. If you have a major scale and you go to the 5th note, and you create the chord that is based off that note, you get what's called a dominant 7th chord. The distance between the 3rd of that chord and the 7th of that chord does create a tritone interval distance, okay? So the tritone is the bread and butter of the dominant 7th